Hi, I'm Sue.
And I'm Mel, and this is Manifesting with Mel and Sue. Welcome to our latest episode. What are we talking about today, Sue?
We are talking about what to do when either you don't see movement or you're getting opposite results when you're trying to manifest something.
What's movement, by the way? I feel like we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but for those of you who don't really know what movement is.
So if you've been affirming for something, say that I've been affirming for a new car or a new house, and I'm not seeing any movement, like I'm not seeing any evidence of it, or I'm getting opposite results, which is maybe I lose my car, or maybe I'm getting kicked out of my apartment, something like that. So movement would be evidence that it's on its way or that it's happening, so like no movement would be no evidence. So we want to talk about what to do if you don't have movement or you're getting opposite results. You've been affirming or scripting or doing SATs, living in the end. You think that you have a perfect mental diet. We didn't talk about mental diet.
Oh, that'll be a whole other video, I think.
Just very quickly, mental diet is basically your inner conversation.
Yes.
That's sticking to your affirmations when you're realizing that you're having a negative thought, flipping it, and focusing on what you want instead of what you don't.
Exactly.
So mental diet is basically being in control of your thoughts.
Yes.
So going back to your opposite results or lack of results, what do we do when that happens?
Typically, most of us will do something called spiraling. We panic, we freak out, and then we do what's spiraling. Tell us what spiraling is, Sue.
Okay, so spiraling is basically having bad feelings and a negative reaction, and for whatever reason you get triggered and you're just like, why is this not working? And then you call up Mel and she's like, it is working.
Yes.
I have no experience with that.
No, that's never happened to us before.
I can't even tell you how many times that hasn't happened to me.
We're on each other's most called list.
So basically spiraling is like you break down, you don't know why the work that you're doing isn't working. Like it can be frustrating if you're affirming or persisting in something and then you're not seeing it or you're seeing the opposite of it. Hopefully you have a good friend who knows about the law of assumption, knows about manifesting, and could just be like, oh girl, you got this. It's going to be okay. You're doing great. You're doing everything. She knows exactly what to say. Like, I can't tell.
I should.
That's why I call her, because you know what she'll say to me? What will you say to me?
I tell her, it's all working out. Like, you've got this. Don't worry about it. Like, we talk about... It's basically just shifting states. Mm-hmm. Like if I call her or she calls me, we just help each other to shift states. We just say, look, it's working. You know it's working. And we kind of give ourselves or each other that tough love pep talk of like, look, you know this technique works. You know what you're doing is working. And you also know that all of this stuff that's happening is just meaning that you're getting what you want. And so we kind of give each other that loving kick in the booty and say, get back to it. And
I can't tell you how many times I've heard from her, what would you say to me right now?
Exactly. I do say that. Exactly.
And so we're going to tell you what we would say, which is to just persist. You just repeat it and keep doing the work because you're doing everything right.
She's very persistent in telling me to persist.
Yeah. It's actually a sign right now above my sink. It says
I love
persist.
that.
I thought about getting a tattoo.
Nice.
But yeah, persist. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's okay to have those moments. And yes. I want to say like the best thing that you can do in those moments when you feel like you're doing it wrong or you're failing or you're not doing it right, the best thing that you can do is to take some deep breaths. If you don't have someone to talk to who can set you straight, just take some deep breaths and be that person for yourself and just recognize your feelings, recognize your frustration, and just get back up there and get back at it and just be like, look, it's going to be okay. Even if you can't affirm in that moment, just tell yourself it's going to be okay and it has to be. And yes. you reach out to us because, we might be able to help. Exactly. We certainly help each other anyway,
Absolutely.
Which is nice. But you know what? Oh, yes, I remember now why I wanted to talk about this because I have the best advice for this.
I can't wait.
Okay,
She has the best advice.
If you don't know the answer and Mel doesn't know the answer, and Mel tells you, what would you say, and you still don't know the answer, ask your higher self.
Yes.
So
that is a practice that we both use, and I think 100% without fail it has worked.
100%. So when I say ask your higher self, it could be God, it could be the universe, whoever you want to ask. Ask your wall.
Put it
anything.
out. Like,
put it out into the
there.
world and just say, please help me figure this out. If you do nothing else and you just fall asleep thinking, just give me the answer, or even better, I know the answer, I know exactly what to do. That's one of my new affirmations is like, oh, I know what to do. Mm-hmm. Even if I have no clue in the moment, fall asleep in that belief that the answer will come to you. And I promise you the answer will come to you. And it may not be the solution to your problem, or at least it may not be at its face, but it will definitely help guide you, and it will help to get you where you need to be. It's happened for me so many, very recently, like that epiphany that I had the other day, that was the day after I spiraled and was like, I need help right now.
Yes. So. And you know what? It's okay though. Like, I'm a huge believer in embracing, if you're having that moment of doubt, if you're having that, you're going into that spiral, you're feeling terrible, you're feeling awful, like, it's not going to set you back. It's not going to take away from all the work you've already done to just sit for a minute and embrace those feelings and to just be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. I'm going to sit with it. And you don't sit with it for a week or a month or anything like that. Just give yourself a little bit of time. If you need an hour, if you go take a hot shower or a bath, go do something that makes you feel good, because you're going to change that mindset to, if I've had times I love to listen to like upbeat, fun music. And when I'm in a really crappy state, like I don't feel like listening to the music that I love, but I also know that when I put it on, it will almost instantly, every single time, change how I feel. Mm-hmm. Whether I want it to or not. I've had times where I put my music on and I've been like, I don't want to feel anything but crappy. And it changes how I feel because you can't help but. So it's okay to kind of embrace and sit with those feelings.
I just want to add on to that statement. I think that you're right, that you should absolutely honor your feelings as you're feeling them. I think that's 100% helpful in getting you where you need to be mentally. The only clarification that I would make is to not dwell on the thoughts.
Yes.
So when you have the negative thoughts like this isn't working, or why isn't this happening, or what am I doing wrong? Like, try not to hold on to those thoughts, but just identify the feelings, like identify the frustration, feel where it is in your body. The more that you can bring yourself back to the present moment and to the current moment and not be thinking about the future and not be thinking about the past, not be dwelling on things that you think that you don't have. If you're just focusing on what you're feeling sensorily, in sensations in that moment, then that's going to help you become more present and take you out of anxiety or anything else. So I like to make it. We can talk. I'm sure we're going to talk quite a bit about emotions and feelings in the future. But one thing that I would like to make a distinction on is if you are feeling anxious, that is a sign that you are living in the future mentally in a negative way. If you are feeling depressed, that's a sign that you're living in the past.
Yes.
So that what those two things show you is that you're not living in the present moment. Because if you're right here, right now, in this moment, watching this video, are you feeling anxious or depressed? Chances, hopefully not, right? So right now, everything is okay. But even if you are feeling those things, right now in this moment, you're okay. Mm-hmm. You're alive. You have everything you need right now.
Yes.
So
even if it doesn't feel like it or seem like it, you do.
Yeah.
You are exactly where you're supposed to be in your journey, and you're okay.
Yeah. So staying present is incredibly helpful, or coming back to the present moment.
Exactly. So yeah, and I wholeheartedly agree with like, don't dwell on the thoughts so much as honor the feeling, and give yourself, hold space for that, and allow yourself, like I said, don't dwell or hold on to it for too long, but give yourself a little bit of time. If you need like an hour, give yourself an hour, but don't take too long on it, because you don't want to get stuck there.
Yeah, you don't want to ruminate.
No.
And that's not going to be helpful. One theory that you and I have talked about before is if you can make yourself affirm in that moment when you're feeling all those strong feelings, a lot of times that energy of like the power that's going into the affirmations, even if you're not believing what you're saying, even if you're like, everything in my life is perfect, everything in my life is so great, I am so loved, even if it's really terrible,
you could cry through
you're
it,
saying your affirmations, you're still impressing your subconscious.
You're putting that energy behind it. I know, a lot of times, and I think that's another, kind of key difference between manifesting through law of attraction versus law of assumption is, in law of attraction, you have to feel good to manifest, whereas in the law of assumption, you don't have to feel good as long as you're just repeatedly affirming. So I've had, we've both done this. Like I've been really frustrated or angry about something, and I will say my affirmations. I've been driving and I've screamed in anger my affirmations, and they still worked, because it's not about the feeling. It's about the repetition of it. It's about the creating the belief and impressing it on your subconscious.
It's the thoughts that create the beliefs, and it's the beliefs that create your reality.
Exactly.
So the feelings are irrelevant. They can help. For certainly if they put you in the right state, that helps to reinforce the right thoughts. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just the thoughts that matter. But anyway, I would like to reiterate that if you are spiraling and you can't pull yourself out of it, no matter what you do, just ask your higher self, ask God, pray. I know it sounds kooky, but it always works. It always works.
And if you don't have...
your higher self wants to help you. God wants to help you.
Exactly. But if you don't feel like you have that, go to your bathroom mirror and just ask your reflection. Just ask. Put it out there. Get it out of your head. Let the words come out of your mouth. Yeah. And it really, we truly wholeheartedly believe in that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's good for this topic for now.
That covers it.
If you guys have any questions on spiraling or any of the ideas that we talked about, please comment
or elaborate on if we, if you have a technique that works.
Yeah, if you have a suggestion,
share those, because I think that is great. Like knowledge is power, so share what works for you. Absolutely. So comment below, like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching and listening. Yes, thank you guys. We love you so much, and we really appreciate you. And as always, go out and manifest that dream life.